We're back courtside on Albertsons Radio Row inside the Arena Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming. New Mexico 79 and Wyoming 65 is the final. The Lobos take control of this game in the second half after leading by 11 at the break, push their lead to as many as 20, and cruise to the tape in a 79-65 W over the Wyoming Cowboys. The Cowboys dipped at 3-7 overall and 0-2 in the Mountain West. New Mexico has won 4 in a row for a second time this season. The Lobos are 9-2 overall, and they are 2-0 in league play. What a day for UNM here in Laramie. So they spoiled the party, Hunter. That was the plan. The plan was to spoil the party. The Fennis Dembo retirement ceremony and all the adulation for an all-time great Wyoming Cowboy, and richly deserved, but the Lobos come here, and you said it yesterday when we were watching the shoot-around. This is a game where you need to take care of business on the road in a game where you are the clear favorite, right?
Right, no question. And they did that, eventually got there. But there's some stats on here that Coach Ware is not going to be too happy about. I think, as they had the comfortable lead, they kind of got sloppy and got a little laxed. And you can't afford to do that. You can't let up, especially on the road, especially this time of the year. You gotta continue to put the pressure on and stay the course and stay focused.
Yeah, and I think you're talking about that one right there.
Yes.
The turnover number.
Correct.
19 of them. You turn over Wyoming 13 times, a team that doesn't play very fast, and you're probably happy with that part.
Right.
But you can't give it away 19 times.
No, and a lot of them are unforced. I mean, just simple miscues or just things that are controllable, right?
Take the fastest internet to the house with Xfinity X5. Stream the Lobos all season long on every in-home device, no matter where you watch. It's beyond Wi-Fi. It's X5. Xfinity, proud partner of the University of New Mexico Lobos. Okay, let's take a peek at some individual totals, Hunter, and there are a lot of good things on the stat sheet from that standpoint. It is the second time in as many years, and it'll be his only 2 visits to this building in his collegiate basketball career. Carlton Bragg comes here, and he just gets a double-double.
Yeah.
Last year it was 22 and 20. This year it is 15 and 15. And at the end of the game, while the Lobos maybe got sloppy, but it was a rim run. Corey Manigault, Carlton Bragg, Tavian Percy. It was a dunk layup line there at the end of the game, and J.J. Caldwell had a lot to do with that. Caldwell finishes up with 9 dimes.
Yeah, I mean, he almost had a triple-double. I mean, he's got 10 boards, 8 points, and 9 assists. I mean, you know how difficult that is to get in college, a triple-double? And he's not even 6 feet tall. I just love watching the kid play. He brings it, not to mention his 3 steals.
Corey Manigault just missed a double-double of his own, Hunter, with 18 points and 7 rebounds, and he was very efficient from the floor, 7 for 9 field goal shooting. Carlton Bragg, 6 of 9 floor, 3 of 4 foul line, 4 offensive rebounds among his 15 game-high rebounds total. Some other numbers. 5 points for Vance Jackson. He had 4 rebounds, 1 of them offensive. He also had a block and a steal. Jaquan Lyle finished up with 13 points, 2 of 5 from the arc, 3 of 12 overall. Perfect 5 for 5 at the charity stripe, had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, but Lyle did turn it over 6 times. He won't be happy with that number. 8 points, we mentioned for Caldwell to go with those 9 assists and 10 rebounds. 3 of those on the offensive end for the point guard, J.J. Caldwell.
Yep.
5 points for Tavian Percy. It included a triple and his first collegiate dunk. 3 points for Zane Martin on a second-half 3-ball. That rounds out the New Mexico scoring. Wyoming was led by Hunter Maldonado, 27 points for Maldonado. Maldonado had just 7 in the first half, however, and he got a lot of his 27 late when it was already decided. He went 4 of 5 from deep, 10 of 18 floor, 3 of 6 foul line, 6 rebounds, 1 of them offensive. 15 points for A.J. Banks, hit 3 3-balls, went 6 of 8 from the field. 12 points for Hunter Thompson, 2 3-balls, 4 of 10 floor for him. Lobo head to men's basketball coach Paul Ware is joining us courtside here on Albertsons Radio Row in the Arena Auditorium in Laramie as the Lobos have knocked off the Wyoming Cowboys 79-65. And Coach Ware, I could hear that you are not happy with the defensive effort tonight, and I guess I'll ask you about that first.
Overall, I was. I mean, we played a good defensive game, particularly the first half. I thought our first half defense really came out, set a great tone, gave us a lead that we really just had to manage the rest of the game. I didn't love our urgency down the stretch. I thought we were just playing the score. It was not the maturity of a seasoned championship team you would want, so that was probably my frustration. But to hold a team to 36% shooting and 57 points, I'm not going to sit here and say our defense was awful tonight. I just felt that last probably 6-7 minutes we just needed a little bit more pop to just close a game out. And hopefully that's something that we'll take from this and learn to go forward.
Coach, congratulations. This is a good win, a conference win on the road. The closing minutes, talk about the game management, clock management.
Yeah.
Were you getting what you wanted from the guys during the closing minutes?
Not really. I thought between the 4-minute mark and the 2-minute mark, we just took too quick of shots. I was talking to him about playing the time, playing the score of the game. We got a little carried away. Carlton was feeling himself a little bit, took some perimeter jumpers. Quach took a 3. We had about 3-4 straight possessions where we rushed some shots at a time that we don't need that. Hopefully that's a learning opportunity for us to kind of grow and these guys to take with us. But like you said, at the end of the day, to get a 14-point win on the road in conference, we'll talk about it. We'll learn from it, but I'm not going to start turning it into World War III in our locker room.
When you look at the stat sheet, I mean, there's a lot of good. I mean, the rebounds and, there are just a lot of good things on the stat sheet. One thing that stands out that you're probably not too happy about are the turnovers.
No question, yeah. I think, they probably play more of or it's probably the only team we'll see that plays the paint more than we do as far as they just pack that thing in there and they force you to shoot threes. And I thought we just went in there. We had several charges. We had several just kind of hands-on balls because we got in there and there's 5 defenders in there, and we didn't handle that very well. It's one thing to watch it on film. It's one thing to talk about it. But to kind of go against the team that just literally packs the paint like that, we didn't do a great job of, particularly in the first half. I thought as the game unfolded, it opened up a little bit. But early on, thankfully, our defense kind of kept us in there because we had a tough time getting the ball to the paint.
Yeah, no, they did. Wyoming did a great job defensively.
They did.
Giving you the 3 but taking away the paint. But some of those turnovers were unforced, and I don't know how many, but you can see that.
No, I mean, especially the transition ones in the second half. I mean, that's kind of been our. We've got to have better patience in transition, and we had a few of those over the course of the game. And I don't know, this turnover number is just fluctuating so drastically. I don't know whether now we have it's just back and forth.
Well, we were getting used to the 10 and 12.
I know. I was too.
3 of them in a row.
I was too.
3 really good ones in a row. But you mentioned something in our pregame that you feel like has been really good, a big plus here of late, and it does seem to be getting pretty consistent, not as much fluctuation as the rebounding. And you guys were outstanding there. And we know that Wyoming doesn't really crash the offensive glass, but you guys controlled the boards throughout, I thought.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of different parts of our game that from the season you've seen, like the ebbs and the flows, things getting worse, things getting better. But I really feel like from our first scrimmage to now, our rebounding has gotten better just incrementally every game, just by 2%, 1%, 3%, every little game. It's the one phase of our – and I show it to our guys all the time in film. We're boxing out just a little bit more. We're making attempts to get an offensive rebound a little bit more. Like, we're just getting better on the backboard every game, and that's been the most consistent improvement really since the season started for us.
I'll tell you, the play of J.J. Caldwell, it's fun to watch him play defense, watch him on offense, finding guys open. He almost had a triple-double.
He was incredible. The assists I wasn't really paying attention to be honest with you. I think they happened in the flow of the game, but I thought his defensive rebounding was magnificent. He went in there and had 3 or 4 key rebounds in traffic that really they help us. I mean, when you can finish those stops with rebounds, they're big.
Some frustration you could see tonight from Jaquan Lyle, just 3 of 12 from the field. You guys still won comfortably and controlled the game without him getting his offense really in the way that that maybe he would like speak to his play tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's new territory for him and us because he is the game plan, and he gets game plan different ways. Some people put little guys on him and front them. Some people put bigger guys on him and they help off different guys. And it's really something we have to watch and figure out of the court. Like, we went into the game today showing all the clips from Boise of how Boise guarded Jaquan. And here's some things for us to think about. And then you go in today, and now Wyoming does different things. And as the game evolves, are we going to put you in the post? Are we going to put you in ball screens? We have to move him around the floor and just get creative. It's not always going to be the way he wants it drawn up, and it's not going to be the way we even draw it up going into the game. Teams are going to get creative and do a lot of different things.
It seemed like you guys became more effective when he was off the ball.
For sure.
Right?
And that because the last possession of the Boise game with 40 seconds left, JJ comes off a ball screen and feeds to Carlton for a layup because Jessup is completely face guarding Jaquan. And
right.
and that's what we've talked about. We have to use that to our advantage, and sometimes that's going to be for other guys. Yeah. It's not always going to be how we can move him around. It's moving him and his lack of help with him so that other guys can make plays.
I thought that Corey Manigault overall played a terrific basketball game tonight. I know there's some things maybe there in the second half late that you weren't happy about, but 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 on the offensive end. Very efficient field goal shooting, 7 of 9. Talk about his play tonight.
Yeah, they went 1-3-1 there at the end of the first half, and I thought we were bottled up a little bit in it. So we came out in the second half with our 2 big lineup to kind of get them down on the blocks, to throw some diagonal skips to post up, to kind of put some pressure on the zone, and then put those 2 guys there for rebounding. And I thought that really opened. I mean, the first 4 minutes of the second half was I think it was 14-13 in the first 4 minutes. So we were able to open up the game offensively, and then as that middle kind of went through, our defense kind of came back around and allowed us to stretch the lead. So kind of going to him to start the second half, I thought was beneficial for him, obviously, and us too.
Give the fans an idea of how that decision comes about. You guys make the decision to go big to start the second half. Is that you with the entire staff getting together? Okay, what do we like? What do we didn't we like? How does that decision happen?
Yeah, the 2 biggest things we talk about are when to play 3 guards, which would be JJ, Zane, and Jaquan, and when to play 2 bigs. A little bit it has to do with the opponents and what kind of lineups they have on the floor, and then how are we doing on our end of the floor. Because the zone was working so well for us, we felt comfortable with the 2 bigs, having them out there, kind of hiding is the wrong word, but playing a zone with the 2 bigs. As we went to man, got a little concerned with them out there because it's moving them around the floor, and that's those decisions there for the bigs.
And I thought that both the team and Carlton individually did a very good job of managing the fact that he got 2 early fouls today. That happened very quickly.
No, in a weird way, it actually was advantageous for us because I thought he was probably one of the only defenders there in the second half that had some pop to him, and I thought
had his legs.
He only played 8 minutes in the first half, and he just had some good juice to him. He's challenging shots, he's moving around, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise for us that Corey could kind of, soak up his minutes, but then when he came back in, he gave us a great pop to our defense.
I love something you said about Tavian Percy just a couple of games back in a 5-minute stretch that he played, and you said that he does so many things without requiring a shot.
Yeah.
Right? And he gave you 15, we thought, terrific minutes again tonight, and we're thinking about it, and that might have been his first collegiate dunk, and we could see that his teammates went crazy over it.
No, he's been terrific. I can't say much else. Yeah. Even the first shot he make, that is a difficult shot to come off the bench as a guy who's not playing a lot of minutes on the road at Wyoming and bang a 3 says a lot about just hopefully his not only how he's playing but his potential as well. And he moves the basketball on offense. And I think we all know we have gifted offensive players, whether it's Jaquan, whether it's Carlton, whether it's Corey, whether it's Zach. We have a lot of gifted offensive players, and we need to blend them in with a McQuatch Malawach, a Tavian Percy, guys that can defend, make the extra pass, rebound, do things. And he's doing all those right now. And I've been saying for a while, I got to find him extra minutes. I'm glad we found him some more tonight, and we just got to keep finding creative ways to get him out there because he helps us.
Yeah, like you said, I think he helps you. He doesn't hurt you. You want a guy
off
the bench that's going to help you. And,
no question.
You could see him kind of coming into his own.
Especially as a kid. When these sophomores check in, hey, man, just go in, keep the ball moving, play good defense, and you'll go in again next time. If you go in and try and do too much, it's hard to get back out there.
You've said multiple occasions you want this group to play with exuberance, to play with emotion, play with fire and all that. CB's tech there, just a heat of the moment thing? Or
I didn't see it, so I was just asked about it by Jeff. I didn't see it. I believe it was exactly enjoying a play. Honestly, I said the same thing about Boise with R.J. Williams after the game. I mean, I patted him on the butt when he got ejected because the kid fought his tail off, and he had a technical foul and another technical foul. But you know what? If it's in the spirit of the game and the competitiveness and the emotion, we can't take all of that away. If someone's going at an official, if someone's going at a fan, if someone's going at a bench, you know what? There's no place for that in the game of basketball. But as far as the stuff that's the competitiveness of the game, I hate what we're trying to take away there. It's unfortunate. Now, that being said, I didn't see the play. Yeah. If he acted inappropriately, we'll deal with it. But if it was just a kid really happy to play basketball, I'm going to work through that a little bit.
What you mentioned in the pregame, let's wrap up with this. You get a week now here. There are actually a couple of spots here where you play these last 4 games all at home in December where you're going to have a week's time in between games. It'll happen for you twice.
Yeah.
You said that there's a lot you want to accomplish. What will be at the top of the list?
The top of the list actually is academics. It's exam week, so we got to get back tonight. We're going to get in the classroom tomorrow. It's a big week academically for us, and we've got to knock all that out of the way to give these kids the best chances they can to graduate. That's a whole other element to this, is getting these kids their degrees, and we've got to make sure we do everything we can Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in particular as we kind of wrap up the semester. And then the guys that still have stuff over the course of the week will manage their schedules accordingly. But right now I'm just going to try and enjoy being 2-0, man. It's fun. It's fun to get a conference win. I told the guys before the game that, it's hard to understand the magnitude of this game right now, but in February and March, this game means a lot.
Exactly.
And we have to take that urgency to it. And thankfully we did defensively.
2-0 in the Mountain West, 9-2 overall. You're 11 games in. You already have 2 4-game winning streaks. That's good stuff to start.
Man.
Congratulations, Coach Ware.
Thanks, guys.
Very nice win over Wyoming. All right, the Lobos get a little breather. We'll take a little break. Lobos 79, Wyoming 65. We wrap after this timeout. Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Lobos are winners, 79-65 over the Wyoming Cowboys here in Laramie. We're courtside at Albertsons Radio Row for a final time inside the Arena Auditorium in Wyoming. Lobos 79, Cowboys 65. It's time for a Toyota drive of the game. Toyota, let's go places. Manigault misses the second. And a steal by Caldwell. Caldwell stripped Mueller from behind and laid it on the reverse. Look at the smile on JJ's face. That one came at 15-11 in the second half. The Lobos 46-34 lead. It was a dozen at that point after the Caldwell strip and score. You know what that was like? That was like a strip sack fumble where the guy scoops it and scores it. Yeah. JJ stripped him in the backcourt under the bucket, went to the other side on a little mini drive and reversed it in. Caldwell, as you pointed out, Hunter, just a whisker away from the elusive triple-double.
It's funny. What he does, you don't really realize it throughout the game, but when you look at the stat sheet, how many steals, how many assists, and then today, how many rebounds. He had 10 boards. I don't think he's even 6 feet tall, and he's just balling right now, and he's just fun to watch. And he's one of those guys that you don't see it throughout the game, but at the end of the game, you go, wow, look at his stats.
One of the Lobos' most amazing fans is the Crazy Lobo lady. She's in a cancer fight right now. If you can contribute, the hashtag is Crazy4Susan. That's Crazy, the number 4, and Susan, or Lobos for Susan. Lobos, the number 4, and Susan. You can hashtag that. You can find it on Twitter. You can contribute, help her in her fight against cancer. She's one of the all-time Lobo fans for certain. New Mexico's next game is in 1 week. They'll complete finals. Then they go for the sweep of the rival New Mexico State Aggies. It's a 5 p.m. tip-off from Dreamstyle Arena to the Pit. That's 1 week from today on December 14th, our airtime 4:30 Mountain, with your Lobo basketball pregame show and a chance to sweep the rival Aggies. Huh?
Now, that'll be fun. That'll be hopping. I like that earlier start tip, 5 p.m.
Lobos rolling 4 in a row for the second time this season. New Mexico 9-2 on the year, 2-0 in Mountain West play, and a chance with 4 more in December at home to really catch fire. This is a great stretch for New Mexico in December.
No question. And, this having conference games in the middle of December or beginning of December is interesting. And it's working out right now for the Lobos because they're 2-0.
2-0. Took advantage of those 2 early December league games. For my broadcast partner, Hunter Green, my producer and engineer, Mike Vitale, I'm Robert Portnoy. till a week from today. We say so long. Your final score for the final time. The Rolling Lobos, 4 consecutive wins, 9-2 on the year and 2-0 in league. They knock off the Cowboys in Wyoming. New Mexico 79 and Wyoming 65. Final. So long, everybody. You've been listening to Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
You have been listening to New Mexico Lobos Basketball, brought to you by Stadium 66, your place